Gaming is not everything. And that's okay. This is hard for me to realize sometimes. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in any given hobby that I have that it feels like it's my entire world. However, one of the things that makes ADHD as much of a superpower as it is a disability is that I have so many of these hobbies that can become my entire world. Whether I'm looking up cooking recipes and trying to learn new pots and pans and cooking methods, or I'm building cool camera rigs and cages and finding new ways to shoot video and take pictures, or I'm experimenting with weird synth music, or I'm making art, or I'm playing a game, or editing, or writing, getting into retro gaming hardware. There's always something for me to explore. And even if I'm completely fed up with everything I'm exploring now, I have a never-ending to-do list of things I want to get into, like learning game dev and learning Blender, among other things. This is how you create an enriched life. For some people, it requires work. It requires effort. Not everyone's going to be like someone like I am, where it's all about as many hobbies as you can possibly squeeze into your very limited free time. For some people, you have the one thing that you come home and do, and it is extra work to try to figure out how to do anything else. But to live a good life, as Aristotle would put it, to live a life that feels fulfilled and enriched, you need to be engaging in leisure time activities, in hobbies that are rewarding for the sake of it. Not because you're getting paid, not because someone else is going to be impressed, but because you just enjoy the act of doing it, regardless of what result may or may not come from it. And I feel like gaming has become so prevalent, so popular, such a ridiculously overinflated industry that far too many people have wrapped their entire lives up in and around gaming. That they obsess over every new leak, every speculative tweet, every news article, every interview clip, every claim of wokeness or whatever is going on with games. That it becomes their entire life. And the internet shines a spotlight on those things. You are inherently rewarded online for being someone who is obsessed with this singular thing, for that being your entire personality. It's so much easier to turn that into a personal brand, to make it marketable, to get the right hot take that rises to the top of someone's feed, and then they click your profile and find out you're full of these awful hot takes and keep watching you or reading you or whatever. But that life is miserable. That life is so unfulfilled. And we see the consequences of that every time a game gets absolutely dogpiled on over minor things because someone else is miserable, because someone else is having a bad time, because their entire life revolves around this one hobby instead of being more diverse, instead of being more enriched. And even when we're not just talking about online personalities and we're just talking about your own individual enjoyment, I cannot tell you how much more fun I have diving into any specific game or type of game when I've had a good break, when I've been doing other things and I start getting those wheels turning in my head like, ooh, I can't wait to click some heads or play a game or introduce my kid to this game. My kid and I just beat Astrobot finally. We did the Grand Master Challenge or Great Master Challenge. We got all the bots, everything except Astro's Playroom. And now we're going back to Astro's Playroom. And along the way, it's like, wow, I've introduced my kid to Crash, but I can't wait to really introduce him to the original trilogy that I think he'd be able to pick up on. I can't wait to introduce him to Spyro, to Ratchet and Clank, to Jak and Daxter. I can't wait to show him all these cool games that the bots are there in the game. But I've also had this weird feeling. I've not really been able to work all week. We've had yet another snowstorm that came on the heels of a flood. And so school just keeps getting canceled over and over and over, which means I can't work. I'm getting those energies of like, okay, I want to get back to my real job now. And I also I'm getting a little tired of playing games this way. I love my kid. I love playing games with my kid. I will never not say that. But the only games I have played in the past month, after really committing to beating Mass Effect 2 in January and all these big plans, I got really focused on work and then we got really busy at home. The only games I've played is Marvel Rivals at nights with my wife, which I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed a ton. Put way more hours than I thought I would into that. And then Astrobot with my kid. And then occasionally Minecraft and Mario or whatever else with my kid. And obviously, he and I play for very different things. I want to beat the really challenging levels. And he's like, maybe this is too hard. We should just go run around the crash site. And so there's that weird conflict that comes up. That is natural when you're playing with someone else. Younger, older, different interests, whatever. Where I'm starting to feel like, okay, this is a little less desirable. And I know the moment he goes back to school, we're going to get 2 days in and I'm like, I really can't wait to play Astrobot with him because that's how the cycle goes. But that only goes that way when you get that break. If we never had a break and he's been expecting to play Astrobot every day for the next year, I will never want to touch this game again. When we're enjoying it, when we've had only a couple sessions here and there, I'm like, man, I can't wait to spin up. You have 3 save files in the game. I can't wait to spin up another save file and plow through it on my own. And then maybe have another one where we go through it with the first time with my kiddo and his mom. Like, it's going to be great. But I can only get there by having breaks. And like right now, like I said, we've not played a ton. The only competitive game I've played is Marvel Rivals with my wife, which is a pretty competitive live service game. Like, it's still in that category, but it's not a first-person shooter, and I've only been playing it in the context of my wife. I haven't played it with anything else. We had game night the other day. My Discord community, a couple of us like to have a recurring game night thing, and we popped in, instead of Helldivers, we've often been playing that, we popped in the finals, which I've never played. Heard good things about. It appealed to me at one point, never went back to it. And oh my God, this game is ridiculous. Like, completely over the top, ridiculously bombastic. It is insane. And I had a lot of fun with it. But if I was in springtime last year, which is when I really heard about the game, and I was playing Halo, I was playing Splitgate, I was playing Battlefield, and whatever else I was going through at the time, the game didn't remotely appeal to me because I was so saturated with that market that there was no way I was going to have any interest in it. Now, I'm still going to keep a healthy distance from this game. I'm only going to play it with community game night and whatever. But I'm able to engage with it and enjoy it because I have so much space between my time with it and myself. And my time isn't spent obsessing about it, looking up all the guides, looking at the meta, keeping up with the balance patches and the updates and whatever streamer has hot takes about it. Instead, my time is spent doing my job, being a dad, engaging in my other hobbies, doing a lot of cool tech stuff right now, building out some cool projects, doing 3D printing Gridfinity stuff from my workbench, made some cool art pieces in January, doing a ton of writing over on the blog. So that when I do engage with it, it's a lot more fun. I really think anyone who finds themselves primarily gaming with their free time, don't treat this as someone trying to take it away from you. No one is. But I really think just introducing 1 or 2 more hobbies, experimenting, finding what sounds good to you, that one thing that you always thought sounded neat, but you never really put in the effort to get into. Introducing it and only pursuing it as far as it's fun, not making it your whole life. I really feel like you would benefit and your gaming time would be that much more enjoyable. And whatever thing you're obsessing over in your games right now that you feel like you can't get rid of or that you can't miss out on, I promise you, you won't feel like you really missed out on much. You'll come back and be like, why was I chasing that anyway? It's the same thing with so many things in life. Taking a step back from social media, like when you really take a step back, you replace it with higher quality activities. You don't just delete the app and then sit there and withdraw for 2 weeks and then reinstall it. When you actually replace it with better activities, you come back and you're like, what the heck was I even here for? I missed absolutely nothing. Just something to think about. I know it's been ridiculously long time since I've posted on this channel. I do have some more of the bigger projects that a lot of you all probably subscribed for coming soon. I've just been super wrapped up in other things and wanted to share where I'm at and what I've been learning lately. Let me know what you've been up to and how you balance your hobbies in the comments below. And remember to be kind. Rewind.